In a historic and groundbreaking announcement, Japan's Maritime Self-Defense Force has revealed the successful integration of the world's first fully operational ship-mounted electromagnetic railgun. This is a major achievement that marks a new chapter in naval warfare and regional power balance. Official video from the Japanese Ministry of Defense shows the electromagnetic railgun now active on a modern Maya-class destroyer. The ship is currently operating near Okinawa, in the East China Sea, an area of growing strategic importance due to rising tensions with China. The weapon was developed over nearly 10 years by Japan's technology and defense agencies, working together with companies like Japan Steelworks and Toshiba Energy. It is the result of years of research in materials, energy storage, and guidance systems. Experts around the world are calling it a major breakthrough in high-speed and long-range weapons. The railgun works by using strong electric currents to launch projectiles at extremely high speeds. According to Japanese engineers, it can fire metal rounds weighing between 5 and 10 kilograms at speeds over Mach 7, or about 8,500 kilometers per hour. These rounds can travel more than 200 kilometers in less than 2 minutes and are powerful enough to stop missiles and hit hard targets. Unlike normal missiles, the railgun does not use fuel or explosives. This makes it safer to use on ships and much cheaper per shot. One railgun shot costs just a few $1,000s, compared to more than $1 million for some advanced missiles. Japan's announcement comes at a time of increased tension in the Indo-Pacific. China is sending more ships near disputed islands, and North Korea continues testing missiles. In this situation, Japan's new railgun shows that the country is taking a stronger and more active defense position. This follows changes made in its national security plans in December 2024. Technical details shared by Japan's defense agency include the following. Each shot uses about 30 megajoules of energy. The power comes from advanced batteries and energy storage units. The gun barrel is made from special materials that can handle heat and magnetic stress. It can fire up to 200 times before needing repair. The weapon is fully linked with Japan's radar and targeting systems, allowing it to adjust its aim during flight. Japan also solved several problems that made the United States stop its own railgun program in 2021. Japan used a modular energy design, better cooling, and automatic maintenance systems to make the weapon more reliable. Although the Japanese government has not revealed the total cost of the railgun project, sources say it is over 45 billion yen, or about $295 million. The weapon is expected to be ready for limited use by the end of 2025, after more sea testing. Countries like the United States, the United Kingdom, and Australia have shown interest in working with Japan or getting similar weapons. China, however, called the railgun a dangerous move and said it increases military tension in the region. As of April 23, 2025, Japan is the only country in the world with a working electromagnetic railgun on a ship. This puts Japan at the front of a new kind of arms race, one focused not on nuclear weapons, but on incredible speed and raw kinetic power. Japan began working on electromagnetic railgun technology in 2016. The project was led by the Acquisition, Technology and Logistics Agency, known as ATLA, which is a branch of the Ministry of Defense focused on developing local defense capabilities. At first, the program was kept quiet and treated as a small research effort. It focused mainly on testing materials, energy systems, and electromagnetic technology. In 2022, Japan confirmed it had successfully tested a full-sized version of the railgun, showing real progress toward turning it into a working weapon. Building the railgun came with many engineering challenges. One of the biggest was keeping the projectile stable while it moved at hypersonic speeds, which means faster than Mach 7, or about 8,575 kilometers per hour. Engineers in Japan had to create new shapes for the projectile and use plasma shielding to keep it accurate, even with strong winds, humidity, or changes in the Earth's magnetic field. Another major problem was the railgun's barrel. Normal naval cannons wear out after dozens of shots, but railguns deal with much more heat and stress. To fix this, ATLA made barrels using special layered materials that can handle hundreds of firings before needing repairs. These are now seen as some of the most heat-resistant materials in the world. Power was another tough issue. Each shot from the railgun needs between 20 and 30 megajoules of energy. That is about the same energy needed to launch a small car to 100 kilometers per hour in half a second. To supply this, Japan built a custom energy system with high-tech batteries, alternators, and superfast energy storage coils. These parts can build up and release huge amounts of power in milliseconds, without affecting the rest of the ship systems. In contrast, the United States Navy spent more than $500 million on its Railgun project from 2005 to 2021, but never got it working on ships. The U.S. had issues with power use, barrel damage, and shifted its focus to laser weapons instead. Japan, on the other hand, has now installed its railgun on a ship, which no other country has done. This success has gained attention from NATO, AUKUS, and Southeast Asian countries. Recently, defense officials from the United Kingdom, Australia, South Korea, and France have contacted Japan for possible partnerships. Japan is still being careful about sharing the technology but might run joint tests with partners later in 2025. The timing is important. Tensions are rising in areas like the Taiwan Strait, South China Sea, and near the Senkaku Islands. Both China and North Korea are testing more missiles and increasing sea patrols. Having a railgun on a Japanese destroyer sends a message. It shows that Japan is preparing to defend itself against fast-moving threats, including advanced missiles. The full cost of Japan's railgun project is not public, but experts think it has already cost more than $295 million. This includes research, building materials, testing, training, and installing the system on ships. That number might go up depending on test results and future plans. As of April 2025, the railgun is still in the testing phase. Japan has an 18-month plan to test it fully. These tests will check things like how fast it can fire in battle, how well it cools down after shots, how long the barrel lasts, how well it works with the ship's radar systems, how fast it can respond to incoming threats. If all goes well, Japan may begin using railguns on more ships by 2027. There are also talks about putting them on new stealth warships and on land for coastal defense. Defense experts view Japan's deployment of the ship-mounted electromagnetic railgun as both a major technological achievement and a calculated political statement. While the railgun's actual combat performance is still being tested, its symbolic importance is huge. To observers in the region, Japan is no longer just reacting to threats, it's changing its entire military approach in the Indo-Pacific. What was once a self-defense force limited by Japan's pacifist constitution is now becoming a high-tech military capable of responding preemptively and projecting power. This shift matches Japan's 2024 National Defense Strategy, which calls for a comprehensive upgrade in deterrence and response capabilities and focuses on preparing for complex regional challenges. The railgun is just one part of this new strategy, along with hypersonic weapons, Aegis-equipped mega-destroyers, and new counter-strike missile systems, a change that has sparked debates both inside Japan and globally. Japan's growing security concerns are the driving force behind these changes. China is militarizing the South China Sea, North Korea continues missile tests, and China's Navy is increasing patrols near disputed islands. These threats have kept Japan on high alert, with over 1,000 airspace scrambles in 2024, mostly to intercept Chinese drones and Russian bombers. This situation has led to public support for higher defense spending, which has resulted in Japan's largest ever defense budget for 2025 at over $60 billion. The railgun is more than just a weapon, it represents Japan's rising military-industrial power. By developing and deploying this advanced technology, Japan is showing it can stand among nations leading the way in defense science. Japan hopes this will strengthen its role in security groups like the Quad, Japan, India, Australia, US, and give it leverage in future discussions about defense with AUKUS nations. However, Japan's leaders remain cautious. In an official statement on April 12, 2025, Japan's defense minister, Keiji Tokunaga, stressed that the railgun would be used only for defense, in line with Japan's constitution and international laws. Its main purpose would be to protect vital shipping lanes, defend against missile threats, and ensure freedom of navigation in the East China Sea and Philippine Sea, crucial areas for global trade. Still, experts warn that Japan's success could trigger an arms race in the Indo-Pacific. China's Military Research Institute has already pushed for faster development of electromagnetic weapons, while South Korea is considering restarting its coil gun project. Australia has also shown interest in testing railguns on its future warships and discussed energy-based naval weapons with Japan and the U.S. As of April 23, 2025, Japan remains the only country to have an operational railgun on a warship, a development that seemed impossible just a decade ago. This breakthrough marks a major shift in maritime warfare and could change military strategies, alliances, and power dynamics in the Indo-Pacific and beyond.